Gamers, gamers, gamers. It's time to jump on a bandwagon a solid year plus after the bandwagon has sailed off, because I think it would be fun to look at the Concord character designs and say, were any of them actually any good? And it's not, it's looking grim, but we might find an actually good character in there. So, we're gonna go by the character select, and we're just gonna go in the order that whoever this was, who was this? There's their name. That's the credit given. And we're just gonna go in the order they showed us in.
On my mark.
So, I hope we can all agree that this is the most boring man we've ever seen in our lives. But we can't just go by this. We can't even see his pants. So we, of course, must see the character trailer as well. All right, Tio. Let's see Tio's character trailer.
On my cow. Generator's running. Move it. Don't let your guard down yet. Throwing smoke.
Throwing smoke.
Or get caught. They won't forget that. He's back up its own beat. Grenade, get back! Boom slam! That's how it's done.
And that's why Concord died. Was that not the least interesting 57 seconds of your entire life? So Tio, my man Tio. He's like just a guy in a t-shirt and some football pads and like not even a full set. And it's hard to even make fun of the guy because he's just like, he's nothing there, you know? He also does have some of the worst pants I've ever seen in my life. The shoulder, or not even the shoulder pads, the chest piece of his armor also has this interesting effect where it makes his upper body look too big for his lower body. Like, he looks weirdly stumpy from the waist down. And he just... there's just nothing there. He's got, like, a cyber eye. But if we're gonna give my man a cyber eye, why do we not just go all in on that, right? Like, if you've seen Serial Experiments Lane, the men in black in that show have, like, this cybernetic eyepiece. And, like, why not just do that? Why don't we just do that instead of giving him, like, this barely anything little glow in his eye? Because presumably if you're going to give somebody a cyborg eye, it should be important somehow. Not that it looked like it actually did anything in his character trailer, but that's a different issue. He's just... this is supposed to be like a pulp 50s sci-fi kind of game, and we've got a guy. You know? We got Soldier 75 on screen right now. We gotta give him something. At least you get it, right? Like, the idea is just that, like, this is the guy you pick if, like, you've never played the game before and you just want someone easy you can play, right? Like Soldier 76. But Soldier 76, who is the most boring character in Overwatch, still at least has something, right? Like, he's got, like, the visor, at least, right? Like, he's also got a weird eye thing, but it's like a focal point of his character. It's like his signature item. And his signature item is the one weirdly big shoulder pad. I feel like the shoulder pad would be a hindrance. What if you have to, like... what if you try to, like, aim down your sights that way? Is that not going to get in the way a little bit, you know? It seems like it would be a problem. So, you know, let's, like, give him an eyepiece at least. I think Maybe if we painted his armor a little bit, that would also be helpful. You know, just something. Maybe if we actually did something. This is a bit of a recurring theme with Concord characters, where most of them look like, if you saw their design sheet, they look like they would be the first draft before you've actually, like, figured out what they are, you know? So, my man, Tio. Where is he? There he is. Tio's definitely a who? He's, like, definitionally a who. He's the one I'll forget first. I won't remember this man exists tomorrow. He's got nothing. I guess he's like conventionally attractive at least, so he's got that going for him, but, you know. If you pick Tio, you're the kind of guy that picks Mario, you know? Just nothing. Who's next? Haymar.
Why not?
So Haymar's like a mage. Yeah. Like, also, just a thing that bothers me about the character select is that it goes class, then pronoun. So at first glance, it looks like their name is Warden, she, her, and the name's actually up here. Just like, you know, usually you put the name next to the pronouns, but whatever, you know. We don't need to nitpick the UI. So, Haymar, I do like her earring. You know, I like the earring she's got going here. She's got kind of a goth vibe, you know. We like goths round here. But I would not know she was a mage until she does the thing with the fire, you know? But let's get a look at full body Haymar. So, the dialogue is bad. We have to all agree, I'm sure. It's very... It's not even, like, cringy, though some of them are cringy. It's just very... nothing. Because all the characters speak in, like, this military jargon, like, contact-cited kind of stuff, and it makes them all sound very the same, and, like... I would like if we had a little bit of personality in, like, the combat barks, but, you know, I suppose that's just asking too much. So, first off, she's wearing, like, Kingdom Hearts boots, which I don't like. They're also, like, a weird color. They don't jive with the rest of her outfit. I did poll some of my friends, and my girlfriend said that she had anal beads as her belt, which is undeniably the case, but is also like one of the only actual pieces of design on her entire body. So, you know, it's something at least. I kind of wish we had like a little bit of something. Like, this is a sci-fi game that has a mage in it, and like, sure, she's a bit mage coded because she's wearing a cloak, but like, I think if we're gonna do sci-fi mage, we should lean into that a little bit more. Her gun did look kind of fun to use, I'll give her that, but I also don't know why the mage has a crossbow as her weapon. I think, instead, what would have been a lot cooler is if we gave her, like, a staff as her weapon, right? If she's gonna be mage-coded, we might as well just say, alright, she's a space mage. So let's give her, like, a staff that looks like a customized lightsaber hilt, but like way longer, obviously. And then we could put some like geometric shapes on the end of it, like a little hologram display or something, and she could just use that as her weapon in game, right? Give her like, again, a signature piece, like something that she's actually kind of designed around, you know? And maybe if we could put, like, a pattern, some filigree, perhaps, on this robe, that'd be great, because, like, man, that is one plain robe. Have you ever known a wizard that has a plain robe? This is like level 5 starter gear in an MMO. This is the first piece of like class-specific gear that you pick up. And then you can't wait to find something that actually looks a little cooler, you know? Like, this is not mage gear. Well, I mean, it is mage gear, but it's not like, you know. If she's gonna be a mystic, as she said, she's gotta have like a design on this. Instead, we get like a little bit of big stitching along the sleeves and like kind of a cat suit underneath. Let's put something on here instead of just like, kind of just looks like, it's like dressing gown material as well. It looks very fluffy and very soft. I would also like if the collar was bigger, because, you know, she's got it popped, and like, from this, it kind of gives me the vibe of like they want it to be like a little bit like Doctor Strange, where he has like the really big collar on his cape. But again, we didn't really commit to that. Like, it kind of gets lost in the design, especially on the in-game model. Let's like, you know, let's give her a popped collar, you know? Like, let's really blow this out, put a little bit of design on it, you know? Let's just give her something. But, you know, Hamar, I can see the vision. She's a mage. It's just the design doc then stopped at a mage. And I would have liked if we went a little bit harder, or anywhere at all with it, honestly, you know? Because, like, here's the thing with the two characters we've seen so far, right? Is this was meant to be a hero shooter. Not meant to be, it was a hero shooter. But the thing with hero shooters is that you're meant to like feel very strongly pulled towards a character, right? Like, a character is meant to fulfill a fantasy, and the character is meant to embody that fantasy. And that's meant to be what makes you want to play them. Like, Genji in Overwatch is a cyborg ninja, and everything about him sells cyborg ninja, right? He's climbing up walls, he's doing flips, he's got the shuriken, he's got the ninja aesthetic in his design, and he's obviously got the cyborg aesthetic in his design, you know? He's got the cyborg ninja fantasy, and that's why people like playing Genji, because a lot of people have the fantasy of being a cyborg ninja. And all the characters are like that, right? Reinhardt's the paladin. If you like being big, bulky person who protects your teammates, Reinhardt's the embodiment of that, right? And they're all like that. What exactly is the fantasy that Tio is trying to sell you? Military man? Because to me, he gives me dad who is like at the Little League pitch, right? Like, he's not selling me on this space soldier fantasy. And like, you gotta commit to it, right?
On my mark.
And Hamar, like, she's giving mage, but she's not selling me on the space mage fantasy, right? You've gotta commit to it. Hero shooters are like gotchas. You've gotta, like, really try and sell somebody on the character. That's the entire point of the genre. And they just have not gone very hard on that. And this will be a recurring problem.
Why not?
Who's next?
Fight. Too bad.
What did you actually say?
Fight. Too bad.
I mean, just from context, I'm guessing he's saying to battle, but it kind of sounds like he's just saying too bad. Like, I think we could have done another take on that one. So, Starchild is just a guy in makeup. He looks like a brute, like a bit like the bulky generic enemies you would find in any other game. He, you know, let's look at the trailer. atrocious pants. Gotta say. Are the boots separate to the pants, or are the pants connected to the boots? Man, not good. Pretty much exactly what you expect him to do. Amazing awareness from Tin Can. I think it's a little weird that, like, this big guy doesn't just punch you. Like, his melee attack was to, like, hit you with a spike on the bottom of the shotgun. Is it not weird that this big berserker character doesn't just punch you with his giant ham fists? Right? So, you know, the vision, I see the vision. He's meant to be a big, bulky boy. But I'm going to show you a character that just does this better. And it's not even a full character, really. It's a skin from another game. So here we have Odyssey Malphite from League of Legends, who is just this, but, like, actually something. He's got a very strong silhouette. He's got the 3 spikies, you know, giving him a very distinct silhouette. 5 spikies, actually. He's got another little one on the shoulder. We've got some lovely, vibrant colors, but contrasting with his clothing, but also complementary colors. And then we've got, like, the yellow. It draws focus into the face. Like, this is big, bulky, alien man. This is man in makeup. Right? Like, he barely... you know, if you take all the color out of him, he barely reads as alien, actually. Except for, like, the chin spikies, I guess, you know? And, you know, like, when you actually kind of, like, commit to the idea and, like, go all in on it, you get something like this. And when you don't, you get something like this. This always drives me crazy with, like, alien characters where they barely actually look alien. Right? Like, when it would take very little effort to, like, cosplay the character like this, you stick some little things on, you paint your face, you're kind of good to go, you know? With, like, alien characters, you've got really, like, 2 routes that you can go down, right? Where you can do something like a Twi'lek or an Asari, where you basically just make a human with, like, one distinct feature, but they are, like, aesthetically pleasing, basically, you know? Like the fan service alien route, basically, which is just like, ooh, sexy blue woman, you know, with, like, weird head thing. Or you can go the other way, the better way, where, like, you are basically just a humanoid, but nothing else about you really looks human. So, like, Garrus from Mass Effect, right? Like, a humanoid, but does not look human. Instead, when you do, like, this sort of thing, where, like, you don't really commit in either direction, you just get this kind of, like, uncanny looking guy, right? Like, it's the cat's problem, where you're like, oh, that's like a person, oh, but he's a little weird, right? There will be a worse example of this later. Like, commit to the idea. Also, this guy's silhouette is fucking atrocious. Like, it's just a square. Like, come on. We all know, we've all seen, like, a video that talks about it. The most important part of a character is that their silhouette has to be distinct. Especially for a hero shooter, it's very important that you have an identifiable silhouette. And this guy's silhouette is cube. It's very dull, it's very bad. We've got to commit to this idea. I want his upper body to be bigger. I want to balloon him out, right? We've got to do something with this head. We've got to make him look weirder, okay? We can't just be having normal face with 2 spikies on it and like a really bushy beard. We gotta give him something else. We've got like kind of like a little head crest situation going here. Let's just go crazy with that, right? Like here we've got like just some little shapies. Let's give him a head crest. Let's like just like put some big spikes on there, peel them back a little bit. That would help give him a bit more of a unique silhouette if he's got some spikies coming off. Or we could give him kind of like one of those webbed dinosaur kind of crests, you know, where you've got like the one spike with like the webbing between them. You know, let's give him something. Or like he's a little like monkey coated, right? Like the face makes me think chimp, and then he's got like this kind of like hairy body situation. He's a little monkey coated. We could kind of go a little harder on that maybe. He's got some spikes on his shoulder as well. Hold on. Basically, we're gonna do this. You know, again, this is just a better version of this character. I only just noticed he's got some spikes on him. Fucking make these bigger. His thing as well is meant to be that he like hardens into like diamond skin and stuff. So like let's lean into that if he's gonna do like diamond skin instead, right? Let's basically pick one of his aspects and lean into it. So if he's gonna be a little like he's gonna have a diamond skin thing, let's make these like giant crystalline structures that come off of his back, right? Like let's give him some big spikes in the back. Again, break up his silhouette a little bit. Kind of like lean into like the gem aspect of him a little bit. And then we could just make him generally shinier as well. Like, you know, sparkle up these metal plates a little bit. Make them look a little bit more gem-like or some such. Then like, hey, let's put some gems on the forehead. Let's put a crests on there out of like rough hue diamonds or emeralds or something, you know? Instead of him just being like a blue furry man. But, you know, I can see the vision. It's just the vision has not been committed to yet again. You know? Like, he's got like a bunch of aspects on him, but we have not committed to any of them. Let's just pick one and go hard on that, right? Like, let's make him a big weird alien. Let's lean into like some of these like monkey aspects, or let's lean into like the crystal aspect. Let's like pick one, and that's his thing. Next character.
I got you.
So, this is one of the worst in the game. Just like the worst combination of colors I've ever seen in my life. Just terrible. So, the idea here, right, is that someone kind of like, I think, looked at Zarya and then completely missed the point. Because you've got like the same kind of idea as Zarya, right? Where she's a really big woman with like some feminine aspects still, right? Like, Zarya's got, like, the pink hair, and she's got the nail polish, right? Like, strong woman with feminine aspects still. And here we've done the same thing, but we've given her this hideous shade of blue. The eyeshadow's fine, because that's, like, not so dramatic and jarring. But, like, the blue lipstick contrasted against, like, this pink and this green is, like, it's not good. Also, this is meant to be kind of like a character with like a culture, but like we don't want to commit to that, obviously. So we'll just give her like this one little spike through the nose, and that's the one corporate approved like cultural signifier. Because to me, she looks like she's meant to be like a big Maori woman, but like maybe we could have actually done something with that. Like, I think there's a great idea in like large Maori woman in space with a minigun, but we have again not actually committed to that, and we have chosen some truly hideous colors. So let's watch her trailer.
Nothing's getting past me.
Pants check, atrocious, awful, disgusting. At least visually congruent with the rest of her, but still unappealing and bad.
Look at me.
So, you know, obviously she's the tank. What else could she be? Scrapper coming through? Just call him a clanker, why don't you? God damn.
Thank you. Don't mess with my people. Haha! Jabam!
Jabam.
Ooh, makes me wanna dance.
So, my friend, when I was talking to them about this, did say the gun was kind of cool. We've got like a special little gas cylinder for every piece of it. So, hey, you know, that's kind of cool, you know. That's an idea, at least, so that's nice. So her silhouette is fucking atrocious. She's just a ball. She's a ball with a little knob on the top. And, I don't really like that. She, you know, her gameplay didn't exactly look great either. If I was gonna play this game, she'd probably be one of the ones I did play, because I like to play the tanks. But man, that was one weak-looking shield. So, you know, my problem with, like, this character is, first off, the color choice is fucking atrocious. Like, we gotta change this. I don't care which part of it we change, but we gotta change something, okay? Like, I don't like the blue lipstick. I think that's visually unappealing. I would like to change that. And this hideous sickly green has gotta go. I also think that she's too padded. I get she's meant to be, like, practically dressed as, like, a tank and stuff. But the problem is that you, like, lose so much of the silhouette in all this armor. And I don't think that it really conveys the right kind of thing, because you lose too much of, like, the person under all of this padding, right? Like, you don't necessarily need somebody to be armored this heavily to make them look like they're strong and a tank. Like, Zarya reads as a tank, but you can still see some of the person underneath. This is also one of the worst helmets I've ever seen in my entire life. At the very least, take this fucking helmet off and, like, give her a unique hairstyle or something. But I would take, like, the shoulder pads off, the arms off, and I would probably either, like, shape the chest piece down or also take that off. And we could still give her some bulky clothing, but I think this armor is just unappealing. And it has the side effect of not really making her look very strong to me. Like, she doesn't... Like, she's meant to be kind of a strong character, but I don't think she looks very strong because I'm kind of losing her underneath all of this padding, right? Like, you don't get to see any of, like, her musculature or anything. And because she's so rounded, it makes her look very unthreatening also. And tanks are generally the ones you want to look the most threatening, because they're the ones that are meant to be taking up space and being, like, big, right? They're big and they take up space, and when they walk towards you, you're meant to want to go, oh fuck, and back up. She doesn't do that to me because she's friend-shaped, right? Like, we've got to sharpen her up a little bit. We've got to fix this horrible coloring, and if we're gonna go with, like, big, strong lady, I think you need to show some of the musculature under there. My cat is standing on the keyboard now. Hold on. Please don't do that. Stop. Like, if you're gonna do strong, I think you need to show a little bit of the musculature. And I'm not saying you gotta, like, give her titty armor or, like, get her, like, half naked or something, but, like, you gotta give me something. That's why I'm saying I would at least take, like, the armor on the arms off so that you can see, like, biceps and stuff, because that would be enough, right? Like, if you could see that she was fucking jacked in her arms, that would be enough to convey the rest of it, and you could still leave her pretty armored even if you just left the chest piece on. Take the helmet off also. And I think the armor's too rounded. I want it to, like, fit to her a little bit more. I'm not saying she needs to have titty armor, but, like, something a little more form-fitting would be nice, and something a little bit more intimidating. Also, I hate how many of the characters just have kind of, like, a flat piece of something taking up like a huge pace of their character, right? Like Hamar just had like that giant blank strip down her front, and she's got like kind of the same thing going on here, where there's just this big chest plate with like nothing going on it. Like, I want this to have some like doodads on it, or like a crest or something. Like, yeah, and these pants have got to go. These pants have got to go. But that goes without saying. That's true of most of these characters. So Amari is tragically going to be the first one to go in. I'm going to throw up. I think she has a genuinely off-putting character design, and we need to drastically rework her for it to not be bad. Next.
Fight is won.
An actual character. My goodness, what a day. We've got a concept. We've got like weird mushroom man, mushroom they, pronouns undecided, which might as well read as non-binary. So, you know, we are doing, for the first time out of all the characters we've seen so far, we are doing pulp sci-fi, and that's fantastic. You know, we're actually doing it. Does remind me a little bit of that one character from Battleborn, and being reminded of Battleborn is not what we want to have happen. But let's look at their trailer.
Only the strong survive me. Time to strike.
This gun looks deeply unsatisfying to use.
Quickly, under the dome. Thanks, Iraq. My transplants begin.
Now, this is kind of a cool ability. Because they're like a mushroom boy, right? Or a mushroom they. So they like grow a new body to teleport. That's cool. But the gun just looks so unfun.
I outlived you.
There's also an issue with like the voice acting for this character, which is not their fault, but the idea is clearly meant to be that they're like weird and alien-y, right? So the voice acting is meant to sound kind of like stilted and otherworldly, right? The problem is that most characters have very stilted sounded dialogue and voice acting, so it doesn't really read. I feel like if you're going to do this kind of character, you've got to have them saying things that barely even make sense, you know? Like, again, you've got to really commit to it. But we have at least picked an idea here, which is weird-looking alien. So that's, you know, that's something. We've got it. What do we do to improve this? I would like if, because we've got like a plant and spore thing going on, right? Mostly a spore thing. So I kind of want to go harder on that. As usual, I want to just go hard on the idea. I want their headpiece to just be like a giant mushroom cat, man. Like, we gotta big that thing up. Because what it currently looks like right now is that they're wearing a weird colander on their head. Right? Like, it doesn't... like, I'm actually looking at it now. I'm not 100% sure if it is something they are wearing or if it is a piece of them. What? It's like bone textured, though. Like, that has to be part of their body, right? I don't think... But then here, it looks so shiny that it looks like it's made of metal. And if it's made of metal, presumably it's not part of them. But it also has, like, some of the fungi on it, so I don't know. My point here is that I shouldn't even need to ask that question. This should either obviously be a piece of headgear, or it should obviously be part of them. And the fact I'm umming and ahhing about it at all is bad. I want this to be bigger. I want it to be very obviously a part of them or very obviously a piece of headgear. If it's headgear, we gotta make it look more ostentatious or something, right? Like we gotta big it up a little bit. But if it's part of them, it's gotta be more mushroom-y. You know, I'm not saying like a toad cap or something. Maybe like one of those really weird kind of like ribbed-looking mushroom heads. Something like that. Ribbed for her pleasure. And I would like if we had more of these, like, structures. I would like if some of the structures like this were kind of, like, poking through their clothing, even, you know? Like, it's very convenient that all of these weird parts that are kind of growing off of them do not conflict with the fact that they are wearing a wife beater, you know? Like, it doesn't interfere with them wearing this at all. I feel like we should have some more stuff that's kind of, like, in the way. And I think it should be bigger, more obvious. But I think that we've mostly kind of got there with this one. This is like, you know, it's a weird alien, and it reads as a weird alien. The big problem for me is just that their gameplay looks quite unfulfilling, and their voice acting is not great, but that's kind of a problem with the wider cast, and just like the fact that dialogue is not very well written because all of the characters have the same voice, none of them sound different. But this is like a character, you know? I don't know that I would say an actually good character, but they're kind of cool, I guess. You know? Like, they're most of the way there. I think that, like, just like a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Maybe some, like, cooler looking armor as well. Like, you know, this is rather unfulfilling to me. I like, because this is just, like, normal person clothing, and everything else about them is so alien, that this has, like, this gives me, like, XCOM Chimera Squad vibes, where they just, like, put, like, sectoids in t-shirts, and it just looks so weird, because it's, like, normal person clothing over, like, an obviously alien entity. Like, I should get something about this person's culture from their clothing, right? But I don't really get anything like that from this, because presumably this is a whole, like, species of people, right? Like, this is a whole alien race, and yet they just wear, like, a tank top and a skirt. I feel like they should be dressed differently. They should be wearing something that's obviously alien. But, you know, we're most of the way there. That's like a character design. Just like a little bit more and we'd be there. Now, this is one of the worst. This is bad. So, I get the vibe from this character just off the character select. That they're meant to be like Harley Quinn or like Jinx, right? We're doing like the big boom thing, and then we're getting into this kind of wacky kind of stance. The thing that like really bothers me about this character, though, is that they just do not look like the type of character they are. Roka. This character is just not designed correctly.
If you can see me, you should run.
This is the flying character.
Guy's falling. Going in. Ho-ho! We blew them away.
So the thing I hate the most about this design is just looking at them right now, it's like, how do they even fly? And like, if you look here, they've got like some tiny little thrusters, and it looks like from the gameplay they have something in their shoes as well. But like, nothing about this character reads as a flying character at like first glance, right? Like, you need to be told they are a flying character. And then like, you compare them to Farah, right? You look at Farah and you go, oh yeah, that's a character that flies. They have wings. They have a bird helmet. You know, there's obvious thrusters on the back. And like, here's the other thing. This character has a power slam. This character is tiny. I could pick this person up and throw them. Farah looks like a character that could have a power slam. Because she's wearing some armor, at least, right? Like, she's a bigger character. There's a profile in here. This is just a, like... This looks like Genji. But this is the character that flies and has a power slam? I don't buy it for a second. And, like, she's meant to have kind of a loud personality, but you can't see the person's face. Why are we doing that? What's up with that? Why are we doing that? Also, one of the worst rocket launchers I've ever seen in my life. Just a box. In this allegedly pulp sci-fi setting. And she's wearing ninja tabbing. Like, you know... Also, silhouette. Terrible. Just a person with a big head. Bad. Terrible. Terrible. So, my vibe off this, the only thing that visually reads to them, about them to me as like a flying character, is that they're wearing a little bit of a spaceman helmet. Right? Like a little bit of a spaceman helmet. But if that's what we're going to go for, why don't we commit? I want them to look like this, but like a little bit more sci-fi. This is the Fury from Metal Gear 3. And, you know, we're doing Spaceman now, right? We've got the Spaceman helmet. She's got, like, the little thrusters on the back. Fuck that shit. We're doing Spaceman. We're putting big thrusters on the back. We're putting a big backpack there. And this is all a little too dull for a game like this. We've got to, like, sci-fi it up a little bit. So we've got to make these greebling bits look a little bit more sci-fi. We've got to pretty them up. We've got to pick some brighter colors, especially if she's going to have kind of a loud personality. This backpack's obviously got to be a little bit more designed. We don't really just want 2 canisters back there. And then do whatever with the gun that isn't just this. Like, just like something else, please. Anything, I'm begging you, rather than just a box. I don't really care what. But like, and then if she's going to do if we're going to do a loud personality for this character, we have to be able to see the face. So like, make the glass dome see-through so that we can see her expression. And, like, make it bright, right? Like, make it bright, make it loud, make it in your face. Especially since this is a character that's meant to be in the sky, like, I want, like, the flying character to have kind of a bigger profile. They don't need to be huge, but I don't really want them to look like Genji, you know? Like, I want them to have a bigger profile, because you're meant to be able to hit this person in the sky, and it's going to be very hard to do that when they're very small and slight. Like, big them up a little bit, put some bulk on there, especially if you're going to give her a fucking power slam. This character doesn't... If I showed this to 100 people and asked them what their abilities were, I don't think a single person would say, oh yeah, they have a power slam, right? Like, you gotta go for it. You gotta commit to this spaceman vibe, and you gotta commit to the loud personality. You have committed to neither. This is just like a person in a brown suit. It's very boring, very boring. That's a who right there. Next. The most uncanny man on the planet. So this is meant to be like the game's main character. This is the guy that's like on everything. This is meant to be the Star-Lord of this game, and he's atrocious. He's got the Cats problem, the movie Cats, where he is so fucking uncanny because he is just like a very normal person face with like this shit going on around him. He looks so fucking bad. I hate it. This is one of the worst designs. So let's go watch his trailer, obviously. And go from there.
Fastest guns in the wilds. Boom knife.
Boom knife.
Need a second to fix myself up. Hostile here.
A very unfun revolver, since it doesn't have, like, the cylinder. Very unsatisfying.
So many targets, so little time.
So, Lennox. Our boy Lenny. So the problem, one of the many problems, is that this is meant to be the cowboy character. This is the Cassidy. But he has absolutely no cowboy coding in his design whatsoever. He just looks like he doesn't know how to swim. He does not read as cowboy at all. I think, personally, it's a crime to give a cowboy character no hat. You know? You gotta do that. You gotta give him the hat. I do not like this, like, handle that he's got on the front of the gun. What's going on with that? Also, no cylinder on the revolver. Sickening. Disgusting. You've got to have the cylinder there. Even Cassidy has a fucking cylinder on his sci-fi revolver, okay? I don't care how much sense it makes. You could put more slots in there if you want, but you've got to put the fucking cylinder in the revolver. Come on. Especially if you're going to be doing, like, a fan the hammer, you've got to be able to see that thing spinning around in there. Come on. So we've got to give him a hat. Like, this is meant to be, like, you know, like a vest or something, but, like, you know, can we make it, like, a little bit more cowboy-y instead of making it look like pool floaties? Like, you know, the belt is fine. He's got, like, a cowboy belt. I'm not a huge fan of, like, the holster situation, but, you know, whatever, I guess. Like, why is the other one on his fucking kneecap? But whatever. It's not on his kneecap, but you know what I mean. It's really low for some reason. Also, looks like here, this gun is still in the holster, which means it's the one from here, which means he picked the gun from his right leg with his left hand, and that's just a little bit weird. I'm not sure about that. Feel like you would have gone for that one first if you're left-handed, but I don't know. Anyway. So, he's uncanny as fuck. We gotta do something about this face. The face, you know, he's very lizard-coated because he's got these spikies and he's, like, scaly and stuff. He's lizard-coated, but he's just got a human face, and that's terrible. That's gotta go. So if he's gonna be lizard-coated, he's gotta have a tail. This is non-negotiable. He's gotta have a big tail. He's gotta have a big, spiky tail. And we have got to give this guy something on the head. We got to get some, like, fins coming off of him, you know, like a little head crest situation. This, like, massive spikes on his head, this has got to go way up. This has got to become huge comparatively, okay? He's got, like, a little bit of a silhouette. If we just, like, fix up this head, we're good to go. I think the body is, like, largely fine. Apart from this vest, I don't like the fact it looks like floaties. So if we can, like, you know, make this a little bit different. Just, like, change the color, at least, or the texturing a little bit. But I would like if it was a little bit more cowboy-y. But at the same time, I concede we're doing space at the same time. So maybe you want it to look a little bit more out there. But this is too floaty. You know, it's too swimwear coded. And then we got to give him some big head crests. I would also kind of like if we didn't have this weird stubble situation going. We could maybe, like, give him, like, something coming down off, some spikes coming off the chin as well. Like, maybe a little three-pronged spiky thing. And then, like, some big spikies, big head crest, big trail of spikes coming off the back. Also, just a human face would look even worse if we did all this stuff around it, because then you've just got, like, actually a human face in the middle of all this alien stuff. So we've got to give him, like, a snout. Right? Again, he's lizardy. We're committing to lizard. We're giving him the snout. You know, we're giving him, like, some wilder-looking eyes. We're taking the eyebrows away. Like, that's not staying there. And we're just turning his head into a lizard head, and we're giving him a big tail, and we're good to go. And we're changing this jacket. Though honestly, I think if you change him to have a lizard head and give him the tail, the jacket wouldn't look as jarringly bad either, because he would at least not just look like this uncanny human. So Lennox is I'm actually gonna throw up. Like, it's so bad, this uncanny face. It's the cat's problem, okay? You have to pick one side. Same thing with the aliens. You have to pick, are they like just if you're doing like animal theming like this guy, you've got to pick, are they just a person with a couple of animal features? Like, are they like a boy that's got cat ears, you know? Or are they this animal? You can't pick, you can't like split the difference. You have to pick, are they just a person, like 90% of the way, or are they a furry? Because if you don't pick one and you split the difference, you get cats. And everybody hates it because it looks disgusting and weird and uncanny. Who's next?
Yes, indeed.
So I kind of like this guy. I like Jabali, because he's got some personality, right?
Yes, indeed.
Like there, he's kind of going for it a little bit, right? With the, yes, indeed. My girlfriend liked him when he was like this.
Yes, indeed.
But did not like him when he was like this, and I get where she's coming from. This guy, to me, is very merchant-themed. Like, he looks like an NPC that you would see behind the shop counter selling you something to me. But I kind of like this guy, honestly. I think he's, like, a lot of the way there. I think this guy is maybe one draft away from being, like, a full character.
I'm not competitive, but I'm gonna crush this.
And then it's like, you immediately lose the personality. Like, the yes, indeed kind of had, like, a vibe to it, and then he just, like, says that.
I'm not competitive, but I'm gonna crush this.
And then suddenly he sounds the same as everybody else. This is, like, a problem with this game, is that all of the characters are very flat. Especially since they all apparently need to have the same kind of, like, military jargon kind of combat barks, right? So none of the characters have, like, a distinct voice, right? Obviously, they all have a distinct voice, literally speaking, but I mean, like, the character doesn't come across in the way they speak. They're very flat. Which, if we, again, look at Overwatch, which, you know, obviously we're going to compare this game to Overwatch a lot. I'm sorry. You know, like, all of those characters have very distinct voices. Even Soldier 76, the most boring character in that game personality-wise, does not sound like any of the other characters in that game. He has an obviously distinct personality from everybody else. And then you've got Reinhardt. He's big, he's jolly, he's happy, you know, he's an encouraging guy. You know, he's cool. He's a cool guy. And then Torbjorn's the little angry munchkin man. Reaper's the edgy motherfucker. You know, like, they all sound so different and have such distinct voices. But there's one character that's almost there who we'll see later. But, like, everybody's so flat and characterless, right? Like, the writing is just so dull and, like, Joss Whedon-y, right? Like, it's all like these, like, little quips, like these little cringy quips, or like military jargon, right? Like, they shouldn't all sound like that. They shouldn't all just say things like enemy sighted or whatever. They should all say something different. But, you know, what, Jabali.
Get your strength back. Regaining health. Watch out for this. Yeah, not bad at all. Headed this way. Enemy contact. Found my rhythm. I've got you. That evens things out.
So I do think that this guy's voice actor is trying the hardest, right? Not that I'm saying any of the other voice actors are bad. Anytime you've got, like, bad voice acting in a video game, it's almost never the voice actor's fault. It's, like, either the director's fault or it's the dialogue writer's fault, right? It's very rarely the voice actor's fault, because whenever you're like, really, that's what you're gonna go with? The problem there is that the director didn't go, oh, that was bad, we should do another take. But, like, you know, it's very rarely the voice actor's fault. But, like, this guy is trying quite hard, I think. Like, he's going above and beyond with, like, the very flat dialogue he's been given to try and inject as much personality into it as possible. Now, I do quite like Jabali. I think he's most of the way there. And I think he's even acceptable as he currently is. I do not like the color of his jacket, but the thing is that that's currently the only thing about him that communicates healer. Because apparently that's what he is. And, like, the only thing that does that is that he's got kind of like a healer-coded color on his jacket. My thing is just that, like, A, how does he heal? And B, why does he have a triple jump? What about him lets him triple jump, right? Like, we haven't got these elements incorporated into the character. Like, I presume the reason he can heal people is because of this gauntlet, because there's really nothing else. But if that's the case, this gauntlet needs to be very visually distinct to convey that, right? Like, this has got to be a bigger part of his design if it's the thing his ability is coming from. Because it looked like both his orbs, I think, came from the same hand. So, like, this hand needs to be distinct. This is kind of like Moira, right? Like, Moira, she's got gauntlets on her hands that, like, the healing and the bad come out of. So if this guy's got, like, a similar thing going... Well, he doesn't have the backpack, so that's immediately gonna hinder it. But if he's gonna not have, like, that backpack, he's gotta have, like, just more obviously got, like, healer-coded gauntlets, right? I think he should have, like, at the very least, two, like, big tubes on this that have got, like, distinct colored goo in them, right? Like, one that's, like, the healing goo, and then one that's, like, the hurting goo. And then, like, when they're on cooldown, I guess you can't see his hand, but I would like if they, like, fill up as the ability is regenerating as well, but that's, like, an extra thing that's not important. But I think he needs to have, like, two big canisters on here that kind of, like, help communicate this is what his ability is coming from, rather than just kind of, like, out of him. Out of him would also be fine if he's, like, a mage, but nothing about him is mage-coded, right? Like, nothing about him reads as mage. I also, like, if he's gonna triple jump, dude, we've got to give him a reason to be triple jumping, okay? Like, you know, like, healer with aerial mobility, we immediately think of Mercy. Mercy has wings, right? Like, that's why she can glide and fly. If this guy can triple jump, he needs, like, big boots or something, right? Like, he needs thrusters on his boots that are very easy to see. Or some kind of leg gear or something. Like, he needs to have something down there. And maybe something extra, like here, but I honestly think that Jabali is most of the way there. You know, and I think his voice actor is trying very hard. I think Jabali is an actually good character. I actually like him. I think he's one draft away from being, like, fully complete. But I think he's, like, pretty much there, honestly. I think he's fine.
The expert's on it.
So, slightly weird character design. That's how you know this has got to be the non-binary. They, you know... Also, they... What's the character called in Apex Legends, where they also have this kind of, like, goo thing going on, right? Because this character's got a goo thing going on. They seem to like the kind of, like, ferrofluid goo stuff for the non-binaries, it looks like. So this is, like, the closest to the pulp sci-fi that we've got so far. But we have not... sorry, I'm opening something. As I was saying. This is the most pulp sci-fi, but we have not, I think, gone hard enough. Because this was something that someone else said as well when I was polling my friends and my girlfriend. And they said that this looks like a one of those very bad cosplay, like intentionally bad cosplays people are doing, right? Because they're wearing, like, Tupperware on their head right now. Similar kind of feedback to Roka from earlier, where if we're gonna do this kind of headgear, go all in, make this a big dome. Like, I want this person to be wearing, like, Juno's helmet from Overwatch, right? Like, I want something like that. You do at least immediately get it, right? Like, this is a hazmat suit. This is like a pulp sci-fi hazmat suit. So you at least get the idea pretty much immediately. But it's just a little boring.
Excited to test out this new batch of toxic slime. Let's get this show on the road.
Wait, did Imari just do a fucking backflip? Why did she do that? She was just on fire and she did a full fucking backflip.
Coming in hot.
They do at least look kind of fun. Like this kind of like set up a zone thing with the goo and then burn it. Yeah, they look pretty fun.
For the win.
Man, that's just what Amari does, huh? It just does the full flip. So yeah, like... again, I can see the vision, but we have not committed to it. I don't really like this combination of colors very much. Mostly just like this part on this, like, you know, this like kind of color up here. This is fine. But like this... I also don't like how there are kind of a few characters that are just like in a jumpsuit. I don't really like that. But that's something we'll come back to later. But yeah, this is like, you know, you get the idea, right? I want the tank to be bigger on the back, right? Like, especially for the amount of goo she's throwing out, like, this needs to look way bigger. She needs to have a huge tank on her back. And if she's like a zoning character as well. I want to make her look like kind of big and slow. I almost want to give her like a turtle shell or something on the back, right? Not like literally, but I want like her canister to be really big to hold all this fluid. So I kind of want to make it look like a little bit of a shell on her back and then give her a really big dome helmet. Because if you give her kind of like a shield on her back, basically, I think that helps convey that she's not really like a moving around, flanking kind of character. She's kind of like a slow, static, zoning character a little bit more. You know? And she's got kind of like an explosive weapon as well, so she needs to be like more padded than this a little bit as well. Like, let's take some of Amari's pads and put her on this lady, right? Because she's got an explosive weapon and like flammable gear on her. Actually, great point. She's got flammable gear, but she's only wearing a hazmat suit that does not really look super protective against flammable stuff. Like, I want her to be a little bigger. I want her to be a little bit more fireman coded, basically, now at this point. You could even maybe put some of that on the helmet, but I guess you don't want it to read too much like a fireman. Because I was going to say you could give her like the sort of like the helmet they have as well as the dome, but that would maybe be going too far. But I think she needs more padding for the kind of weapon and gameplay she has. Flammables and explosives, she needs more padding. She should look more like Amari than Amari does, right? Like Amari looks like somebody that would be handling explosives. She's got like that kind of gear on her. But they do not. I think I have called Devere she a couple times now. I apologize. They're the non-binary. Yeah, they need more padding. Yeah. So big tank, big dome helmet, and more padding, and they're good to go. And I would prefer if we change this color. This color's fine, but that color I don't like so much. And then we're there. Then we're there. Devere is an I can see the vision. She's got to be at the top of I can see the vision. 'Cause like that's like out of these three, I think that's the most clearly communicated thing, right? But again, we haven't gone quite hard enough on it, but I think that's pretty close. This is like a couple of drafts away from being good, I think.
Watch your back.
So, Kip, first off, there's a non-binary in here, as we've seen. And I have to say, good job not just making the non-binary the robot. Because that's like the obvious one to make the non-binary, is one of the robots. But they didn't. Also, disregarding the color of the character, this is a masculine-looking robot that has she/her pronouns. So I like that. I like that we put... and like a slightly masculine face as well. I like that we have slightly subverted things. I would prefer if they were not so pink, because that kind of walks a little bit of that back. Because I think that's interesting. Masculine robot with she/her pronouns, like Ladiva from Grand Blue Fantasy. Ladiva is extraordinarily masculine looking. Let me just show you Ladiva. This is Ladiva. Extremely masculine character, she/her pronouns. Right? And I think that's really fucking cool, personally, as a bit of a gender non-conformist myself. So I would prefer a lot if we committed to that, right? Because they, if you don't look at their color, they read masculine. I want them to not be this color. And I would like if they were more masculine. Because I'm basically wanting to do this, not to the same degree, because this is not the same kind of character as Ladiva. This is obviously a power character, right? Like, she's a wrestler. That's not what Kip's is. But I would like if we did a similar thing to Ladiva. And basically just committed harder to that. Like, if we're going to have the masculine-looking robot with she/her pronouns, make them a masculine robot. So, you know, I like the spirit of that. I just wish that we, again, committed a little harder, as is usually the complaint with a Concord character.
I'll be your eyes and ears.
So I think that, especially when you can see her full body, this is pretty good, right? This is pretty good. I don't like this slit at the bottom of her pants. But, like, this is pretty good. She's got, like, an okay silhouette, especially compared to most of the other characters who are very blobby in their silhouette. You know, this is... If you saw this silhouette, like, if Concord didn't die immediately, and you saw this silhouette, you would clock that it was Kip's immediately, right? Like, they do look distinct, at least. I think that this is one of the good character designs.
Deploying a surveillance trap. Found them.
Burst pistol is very cringe.
They won't see me coming. I have this covered. They won't soon forget us.
Okay, we gotta take a little detour here. So, before we actually talk about Kips anymore, these character trailers are driving me fucking insane because they're so fucking boring. They're so fucking boring and they tell you nothing about the character. I'm gonna show you another character's trailer, a trailer from a different game. Content warning, I am about to show you a gotcha. And I'm about to show you a Hoyo game, so double spoiler, or double trigger warning. Which character do I want to show you? Okay, I settled on a character. I'm going to show you Billy the Kid's trailer for Zenless Zone Zero, because I want somebody with a big personality, and Billy is, like, the first one that came to mind. I think it either had to be Billy or Nekomata. So, like, all of these characters' trailers put me to fucking sleep, and they don't tell me anything about the character. Let's watch Billy's.
Yo, yo, yo! Good morning, ladies! Rise and grind. Come on, Starlight Nice! Transformation!
Hey, hurry up, Billy. Just get your gun and let's get this over with.
Oh, okay, I'm coming! No time for a transformation again. Never mind. Bad guys are waiting for a beating. Let's go! Let's go big and light up the starry sky!
So be my gas, I will let you gas. 3, 2, 1, let's play a little game. Watch out, straight to danger. Can't taste that. Hold on, while the song hit it.
All right, that's enough. I think we've seen enough. You know, like, say what you will about the character. You don't have to like him, but like, the trailer, you get it, right? Like, you immediately understand what this character is. It shows you exactly what kind of person it is. It shows you what the gameplay, is like. You, without even just showing you straight gameplay, you get the idea of what this character is going to do, right? And, you know, like, you get it, and it helps that ZZZ is way more stylized than Concord is. A big part of Concord's problem is that it is not stylized. It's way too realistic for its own good. Compared to, like, Marvel Rivals, right? Like, hero shooter that is very stylized. Overwatch, hero shooter that is very stylized. It really helps. So, you know, with ZZZ, you can do things like these big animations, and you can not like the animations as well, that's fine. I'm sure we've all seen the, I forget what the channel, what the fuck is the channel called? Plus Frames or something like that. We've all seen the video that's like, Zenless Zone Zero's animation is bad, actually, because it's all style, no substance. I like the animations. Say whatever you want about that, and, like, you can hate Billy's kind of character or whatever, but you get it, right? The trailer shows you the character. And at the very least, you can't say the trailer is boring. And then you compare that to a Concord trailer, which is just, like, straight gameplay with, like, the most boring voiceover lines you've ever heard in your entire fucking life, or it's a character going jabam or boob knife, right? Like, it's... Again, for a hero shooter, it's not that far away from what a gacha is, right? Like, that's why gachas have trailers like that. They're trying to sell you on the character because they want you to spend money on it. You're not pulling for characters in a hero shooter, but you're meant to feel a similar kind of connection to them. And Concord just doesn't do that, right? Like, these trailers need to, like, show you the character. They need to show you some of their personality. Not that any of them have any, but that's a different problem. And they need to, like, have some fucking personality, you know? So, yeah, that's... Anyway, that was a side tangent that the character trailers are trash. Should I show you another one? Should I show you Nekomata as well? No. Actually, no, I should show you, like, I should show you a more muted characters trailer as well, right? One with a less big personality. Okay, so now I'm going to show you Evelyn's character trailer. She is a way less big personality than Billy, so sort of to show you that, like, you can still do it with, like, a less bombastic character.
Let's go with that.
You've used it. Ella, Sophia, you've already used all these before.
Then pick whatever you'd like. It's just a name. Nothing more.
Shauna, target sighted.
Roger.
This place ain't easy. You got skill. Tell me, what's your...
Glenn, new mission.
Roger.
And they, you know, you got it, right? You get it? So you get, like, the kind of character... Again, you get, like, the kind of character she is. Very different type of character to Billy. And you get, like, the personality. You get, like, what some of the gameplay is going to be like. You get it. You know, it's got personality to it, unlike some other trailers that we could mention, you know? It's very tempting to show you Jane Doe's trailer, but let's not do that. But you get it, right? And then you got the Concord trailers. Anyway, Kips. So, Kips. I don't like the colors. You know, I'm gonna, you know, I want her to be bigger and more masculine. But I mostly just don't like the colors. I don't like the slit on the bottom of her pants. But everything else I think is, like, fine, generally speaking. I just want her to be, like... I think that's a pretty unappealing shade of brown. I think I would probably give her... like, a white or a yellow suit. I think that's a pretty unappealing color that they've got going there. I don't hate the pink shirt, but I think I'd do red instead. Or maybe black if we're going to have that orange tie there. Or I could do like black shirt and then orange suit. Black and orange is a pretty nice color combination. And her skin. I guess what else would you call it, right? Her skin color. I don't like pink either. I don't know what color I would make her skin. It would depend what we went with for the rest of the body, because we don't want it to clash with the suit too much, right? Maybe just white or silver. Silver would probably be good. Ooh, actually, I'm not really sold on the eyes, but if we're gonna do pulp sci-fi... fuck, what's that movie called? That old movie. Metropolis, that's it. If we're doing, like, pulp sci-fi, I might do something like this for the face. You know? That's a bad picture. Something like this. This is maybe a little too uncanny for what they're going for in, Concord, but, like, you know, this is, like, a similar sort of era to the, like, pulp sci-fi stuff we're going for. It's a little older. It's, you know, 27, a little bit earlier, but I might go for something a little bit more like this, because I'm not sold on these goggles, really. So I might go with, like, a more kind of, like, robotic face like this, but at the same time, I will also concede that that might be a little bit too much. But yeah, I think this is a lot of the way there. I think Kips is... Am I prepared to say Kips is actually good? I think so. They're either actually good or they're the very top of kind of cool, I guess. But I think Kips is, like, basically there. I would only change a couple of things, and I think she's good to go. That's the sniper. I do like her hair. I like that we got these little swirlies at the end of the hair. That's kind of cool. But other than that, this is a very boring character design. And we have one truly terrible choice. Why? Why is this what we've chosen to do for the feet, man? I think it's very impressive that, like, the top part of this character looks like a completely different character to the bottom half of the character. Very, very interesting.
My sights, it's over. Hey, that was impressive.
Mm-hmm. Like, that killed a tank. I guess they're not full health, but... That arms, like, immediately and killed both of those characters. That's crazy. So, a very Who character design, you know? Like, no personality in any of the dialogue, as usual, and then also no personality in any of the outfit. So, like, one of their things is that they do a big leap. And I guess that's why we can see their fucking grippers, but, like, can we not put, like, and, like, she's got robot legs, but can we not make these legs look more powerful? Like, these legs don't necessarily read to me like they should make you jump very high. Can we maybe put, like, a big spring on, like, the calf or something? Like, a little thing that folds out that kind of looks like it would, like, spring off of or something, you know? A little bit like Chell from Portal. She's got those, like, kind of, like, spiky thing, like, those prong-likes on her legs. Something a little like that. Or you could maybe give her, those disabled athletes have, like, those kind of, like, springy prosthetic legs. Maybe we could give her those instead of, like, these, like, regular person legs that are, like, robot-y, you know? These don't really communicate to me that she should have a big leap, but I guess just the fact that they are robotic might be enough for some people. It's not enough for me. They don't look powerful enough to convey, like, she has an abnormally big leap. I guess the goggles that she doesn't use are meant to kind of go in with the sniper thing, but, like, she doesn't use them. There's a scope on here, so, like, either just get rid of these fucking things, or, like, make them, like, part of the character in some way. Because, like, why she got the goggles if she's going to use the scope all the time anyway? You know? Either, like, have her just look through the scope, or have her look through, like, the goggles instead. The goggles could be, like, connected to the display or something. There's, like, a ZZZ character that's like that, where they're actually blind, but, like, then they kind of see through the thing, and that's why they can use their sniper rifle. They've got, like, they're hooked up to it, kind of, you know? Like, we could do something like that. You know, like, I want these goggles to either do something or just take them away entirely. If we're not going to do anything with the goggles and we're just going to take them away, then we can, like, go in on the hair, right? Like, the hair is, like, the most distinct part of this character. Like, make it bigger. I wish the game was more stylized, because then we could do, like, big hair drills, right? Like, since we got, like, the little swirlies at the bottom of them. We could go really in if the game was more stylized and not just realistic. And, like, I guess the outfit is fine. Like, I wouldn't be heartbroken if you didn't change the outfit that much, but it is a little dull and lifeless. Could we put, like, some patterns on it, or some more interesting colors? You know? Like, this is just a person, you know? It's the Tio problem of this just being a person. Like, I think we should make these goggles, like, the rest of her can kind of stay the same, like the middle portion, if we, like, change the legs, and then, like, also make these goggles part of the design. I think she should be, like, blind, and these goggles should in some way communicate that they, like, she's got, like, a big faceplate, basically, like a visor over her face. And then we kind of, like, show that that's, like, hooked up to the sniper rifle. Right? So she's not, like, looking through the scope, per se. She's, like, her face is attached to the scope in a roundabout way. You know? I think that would be cool. That's, like, a concept, right? Whereas currently we don't really have a concept at all. And it would give her a more sci-fi feel as well, because this character doesn't read very sci-fi right now, I guess apart from the robotic legs, but, like, you know, I don't like the robotic legs as they currently are. So, you know, this is just very dull. Very dull. That's a Who right there. That's a Who. Next.
Oh, hi.
Look at that, it's personality, wow.
Oh, hi.
Now, this is just a little guy. One off, he's just a little guy. I like him. He's friend-shaped. He's a very bright color. I like the like purple around the eyes and stuff. Like, I like the little heart. He's a robot with heart, you know? I like One Off. I think he's cool. He's also the only good part of the cinematic trailer, if you've seen it. We won't watch the cinematic trailer today, but, you know, he's like the only good part of that as well. Unfortunately, his gameplay's gonna let him down.
Ready for a big payday. Deploying an air barrier. Stay close to me. I'll protect you. Turning suction up to full force.
Thank you.
I am going to clean house.
Like, was that line not just quite bad?
I am going to clean house.
I don't like the way he said it. I don't like that that's what they chose for him to say, because I think that's incongruent with the, oh, hi, at the start, right? Like, he should I think he should be much more earnest and friendly in every line of dialogue.
Sorry.
Like that. Like, they should all be like, oh, hi, and sorry, right? Like, they should all be very earnest and friendly lines, I think.
Enemy dome here. And here I thought this would be easy.
Unfortunately, his gameplay looks like it fucking sucks also. He looks very unfun.
Goodbye. We are unstoppable.
Like that, right? Like, that's personality. It should all be like that. I don't think they commit enough on the personality. I like him. I think he's just a little guy, and I like the characters that are just little guys. I do think he's a bit under-designed, though. I don't like that they don't commit to the personality. They should commit to the oh hi all the way down, which they don't quite do. And I think he needs, like, something. I don't really know what exactly, because he is a lot of nothing at the same time, right? And he does not have a very good silhouette. So I do think he needs a little bit more. He is meant to be a tank, and I do like when the tanks are a bit more intimidating, but that would be very incongruent with his character. So I concede that I do not know what I would do to improve this. He's just missing something. He's kind of like a trash robot, right? Like, he's got like the trash, like the vacuum and everything, and he throws the trash bomb. He could look more raggedy, and that would help break up his silhouette a little bit if like some of these like shoulder plates were like chipped, or kind of cobbled together out of like random bits of scrap, right? We could do that. We could make him more scrappy. And then we could have some like jaggies coming off of him that would help break up the silhouette. Some like dents and scrapes. The heart is good. I think that should stay. But then we could like, you know, we could just make him look a little bit more trashy, like a little bit more of a Junkrat type character, you know? Obviously not like that kind of like gameplay and stuff, but like, you know, if he's gonna be a trash robot, he looks a little too clean. You know, chip the paint a little, knock some bits off of him, make him look a little bit more cobbled together. I think that'd be good, you know? That would be cool. But I think he's pretty good. He's gonna go at the top of kind of cool, I guess, because I do think he's under-designed. And I think they needed to commit harder to the earnest, happy robot. But I think he's most of the way there. We're like one iteration away, I think. And we're pretty much there. I like him. I like One Off. I think he is my friend. I need everybody to brace for this one.
Come on, let's go! Come on, let's go!
We gotta do one more.
Come on, let's go!
Don't you love it? Isn't it good? Oh, don't you just love it so much? Name is Itsy as well, like Itsy Bitsy. Oh, isn't it good? Oh, don't you love it? It's so good. I turned my tail on. Whoops. Itsy is very bad. Let's watch the trailer.
I'm everywhere. Breaking the laws of physics.
Hitting the Tony Hawk. Mm-hmm.
Good luck trying to catch me.
Also, the guns are all very unsatisfying as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Zip zap, you done so.
Zip zap you dunzo. All the guns are very unsatisfying. Like, they're not... There's not a lot of good feedback on the guns. Even the sniper rifle was a little too tinny. You know, it didn't have a very good kick on it. But that's, you know, we're not talking about sound design right now. So, it's a, very Cats, right? Very the same kind of uncanny as the movie Cats. Also very a 40-year-old's idea of what a fursona is. Like, very deviant art OC. I do not like Itsy at all. My feedback for Itsy is that she's gonna have to go in the trash and we're gonna have to start over from scratch because I hate it from top to bottom. I really do just hate actually every single aspect of it, and I would leave none of it intact. It's just, it's... We have to pick, again, are they a human with a couple of cat features or animal features? Because I don't know that she's necessarily meant to be a cat, but I'm kind of going off the tail, which is a bit furry. But like, what is this? Is this a person with a couple of animal features, or is this a furry? We have to pick one. We have to pick this, you know, or we have to pick this. We have to pick one or the other. We can't split the difference, or you get Cats, the movie, and everybody hates it because it looks super fucking weird and no one likes it and nobody's happy. You gotta pick one or the other, please. Gotta pick one or the other. Yeah, it's just gross. It's just disgusting. It's just sickening, and I'm actually gonna throw up. I don't want to talk about Itsy anymore. She's gonna have to go in the trash. We have to start again from scratch. Like, it's a complete unmitigated disaster. There's nothing. There's just nothing.
Prudent choice.
So Duchess is Anna Amari that we have at home, which is to say, like Anna, if we sucked all of the character out of her, pretty much. I do like that she's like an older lady,
I'll stop them in their tracks.
because you don't get a lot of that in games, but like, man, right? Like, let's just watch the trailer because we get it without the text at the end.
I do hope they give us a challenge this time.
I don't like the hit marker either.
Try getting through that.
Like, we do just like the hit marker for a reason. Like, why do we have to have them flash gray, you know? I don't like that very much either.
Come on, keep fighting. Aha! Am I too much for you?
Oh, man. Her gun is so annoying sounding.
I think we're done here.
And it's just like, man. So she's meant to be, she's the Duchess, right? So she's meant to be kind of regal, a little royal and stuff. But like, then she's just wearing a fucking purple jumpsuit, right? Like, it's purple and gold, so we've got the royalty colors in there. You know, that's cool and all. But like, it's a fucking jumpsuit, and the inside of her cape looks like a fucking bathroom rug. It's not good. The bracers need to be like a way bigger part of the character because they get lost in like next to her skin. They're too hard to see. Those need to be bigger, more ostentatious. The cape has got to be changed. The cape is fine because it helps contribute to this kind of like regal look. It kind of makes you look more powerful if you have a cape as well, because it gives you like that silhouette, that large silhouette. But that is also still a bit interesting because it's a cape. And like the inside has to look different. We can't be having this fucking bath mat in there. Like, we gotta, if she's gonna be royalty, like, we gotta have this be kind of like gold filigree in there, and maybe like a plush velvet, like red or purple velvet in there, you know? The outside also can't be this bitch basic gray. Like, that can't be like that. And she cannot, if she's gonna be the Duchess, royalty, whatever, she cannot be wearing a fucking maintenance jumpsuit, okay? Like, she cannot. We need to have her dressed up a little bit, you know? We've got to have her wearing something fancy. The colors are fine. Purple gold is a perfectly fine color combination. But it cannot be on a fucking jumpsuit, dude. She needs to be wearing, like, an outfit. It needs to be, like, a fancy outfit. Because she's Duchess, dude. Come on, you're telling me the Duchess is gonna be wearing fucking maintenance overalls? Like, no, it's terrible. Get her out of that. It's bad, it's terrible, it's just, man, it's... she's like the most disappointing one, you know, because like there's an idea in there and she's like a type of character we don't see very often, but she's it's just such a fumble on the concept that it comes across as just so plain and nothing. Like, it's so disappointing. She disappoints me the most. Baz. My cat's name is Baz. Yeah, as Baz, but... So, her glasses are fucking hideous. I think we can all agree. I also would like everybody to guess what role this person fills before we actually look at their trailer. Because I don't think they look like their role even slightly. And, man, she just looks like Garnet from Steven Universe, but like a million times worse, right? Like, just not good. Not good. Bad. Baz is... Whew. Those glasses. This is also a terrible pose to put this character in, I have to say. Just very bad posing. She does at least have a unique silhouette compared to everybody else, but like, man, bad pose.
Thanks for having my back. Oh yeah, I got this.
She does, I think, look the most fun. Triple jump is very fun. Triple dodge is very fun. And the stab is quite meaty and satisfying. Oh, look at that. That's gameplay right there.
Now this is what it's all about.
Just so very, very bad pose. The thing that bothers me the most about Baz is obviously the glasses. The glasses just have to go. Okay, there's no question about it. The glasses have to go. But she's also too big. Her profile is so wide. She looks like she's a strength character. She looks like a bruiser. She does not look like an assassin, which is what she actually is. So her profile is way too wide. She's too bulky. She's too big. These shoulder pads have got to go, okay? I actually don't hate most of it. My problem is just the glasses and the fact she's too big. If you take the shoulder pads off, I don't even think you need to change the rest of the jacket. I think if you just take the shoulder pads off and take those fucking glasses off, she's fine. I really don't actually have much of an issue about this. It's just the glasses are so fucking bad that it drags the whole design down with it, right? Like, it's... Just don't look at the glasses. Just put your finger over the glasses on the screen and, like, she's fine. Like, she's fine. This is quite pulp sci-fi, right? Like, this is fine. Trim the shoulders, take the glasses off, and she's good. She's good. It's fine. It's fine. She's kind of cool, I guess. She would be actually good if she just wasn't wearing the fucking glasses. Even if you leave the shoulder pads, I would be annoyed that she's too big for her role. But it would be fine. It would be fine. The glasses are so fucked. They're so fucking bad. It's a crime, actually, that in the middle of this, like, perfectly acceptable character design, some lunatic decided to just put the worst glasses in history on her. Like, oh my god, I'm so mad. Alright, we've got one left. Now, Daw is the one that if you saw any, like, Concord thumbnail, Daw is the one they loved to throw in the thumbnail and go, this game crashed and burned because it's gone woke. This is the one they put in all the thumbnails. All the grifters came out and were like, look at this woke character design. That's why Concord failed. No, Concord failed because all the characters are fucking boring, and it's a fucking hero shooter where none of the characters have an ounce of personality, and it came out fucking 8 years after Overwatch, and it was bad from top to bottom. Like, it's the most mid-game in recorded history. It has nothing to do with the fact that there's a big black guy in it, okay? But, well, all the grifters came out, like, it's Daw's fault. It's a different rant, you know. Daw is very frustrating, though, which we'll talk about at the end. So, my problem with Daw is just that this is the character with the least clear concept in the entire roster. Like, everybody else, you get it, right? Like, even if you don't like it, you get it. Tio is the soldier, right? Vale is the sniper. Like, you do get it. You get it, right? Like, he's the cowboy, I guess. Like, you don't even need to necessarily get that. You just look at him and you kind of get it, you know? Like, you get the character. And, like, this is a hero shooter. All of the characters are meant to embody a fantasy to some degree. What is the fantasy Daw is selling? What is it? He does deployables, and he's got, like, electrical engineering gloves and goggles. So I guess the concept is meant to be, like, Tinkerer, right? Like, but there's just nothing about his character that actually conveys that, right? Like, he has no character concept. Daw is the most just a guy, right? Even more than Tio. Daw is just a guy, right? Daw is a guy, right? He, him, yeah. And like, the silhouette is really bad. They're like a big character, which is fine, but like, their silhouette is, it's so bad because of this fucking jacket, right? Like, it just destroys your silhouette. This is the thing, even in real life, this is true, right? If you're like, if you have a bigger build, a lot of people have this inclination that they wear bulky clothing to try and hide it. But like, what that actually does is it just destroys your silhouette, and it does not help, right? Like, because it makes you, like, you try to hide it, but then you just get bigger than you were, and it makes your silhouette very unappealing. Like, it's so bad for your silhouette. He needs more confidence. I'm going to show you another character with a similar build. Hold on. So this is Birdie from Street Fighter, and this is a more stylized game, so, you know, we can't necessarily do the same thing. But I think that Birdie, honestly, so like, cover Birdie's face, because the face is quite ugly. But if you cover Birdie's face, I think he's actually kind of hot, honestly, right? Like, he's muffin topping right now, but like, that's like fine, actually. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, he's got confidence, right? Like, he's just out there, all on display, no problem. And like, he's kind of hot, apart from the face, honestly. Like, if he keeps the bag on during, like, it's fine, you know? Like, being big does not mean unappealing, right? I think Birdie's body is pretty hot. And like, you know, he's got kind of a similar build, I think, underneath all that padding, right? Like, honestly, I want him to be more confident, you know? And like, maybe part of the character is meant to be, he's like subconscious, but who fucking knows? None of these characters have any personality. But like, he's just, man, I don't want him this covered up, okay? Because the silhouette's so bad. Like, the jacket destroys his silhouette. And like, you know, this is another thing that carries over for real life as well. Because this guy is wearing like one big thing with like no belt line, it becomes very hard to tell exactly where like the upper half and the lower half begin, which is again not a problem you have with Birdie. So it has this side effect of making your proportions just look a little bit weird, right? Because you can't visually at a glance kind of tell where everything is. Because there's no belt line, and like, you know, this doesn't align with the bottom of his body, it doesn't look like. It makes proportionally very strange. Like, having a belt line is like quite important because it helps visually break the person up. This is also true in real life. You know, not a problem Birdie has. You know, you can see where everything is very clearly. That's where the upper half is. That's where the lower half is. And it does not matter that he is muffin topping, okay? Like, it's sexy in its own way, right? Confidence is appealing. Just put a bag on. It's okay. It's okay, you know? We simply must convey Tinkerer in this character more, because I think that's what we're going for, but it's just, there's nothing here. Give him, like, some funky goggles. Give him, like, maybe an inventor-style haircut, you know, like a little bit of a dark brown kind of haircut. Make him look a little bit more kooky, a little bit more zany, you know, so he kind of carries across that, like, inventor-tinkerer kind of thing a little bit more. Put some gadgets on him, you know? Make this disc a little bit more interesting. Put some gadgets on him. Give him, like, some techie gauntlets, you know? Like a gauntlet with a little keypad on it or something, a little screen. You know, give him, like, a utility belt that has a lot of, like, doodads hanging off of it. Yeah, take this fucking jacket off. Man, like, Daw is just very frustrating, because he's so just a guy, you know? Like, he's so just a guy. And for that reason, he must go at the bottom of Who. Like, he's not visually unappealing, he's just so nothing. You know? He's just nothing. I want this. I don't want this. You know what I'm saying? Is it just me, right? Like, you know, put the bag on him. I think he's kind of got something. Anyway. So we've done all the characters now. We had 2 actually good characters and 3 that were almost there. To be fair, I think Devere was also pretty almost there, just like, you know, undersold. The problem that, like, basically all of the characters have is just that nobody committed to the vibe, right? Like, we were too wishy-washy with these characters, and we did not commit to anything. Which has left us with a lot of characters that either have like no gimmick or like a very weak gimmick, which is, for a hero shooter, is just not what you want. Like, these characters need to, like, sell you a fantasy. You need to want to main these characters, right? Like, nobody's gonna be out here like, I main Imari, right? Or like, I main Starchild. And like, could you see somebody wanting to cosplay like any of these characters? Like, Hamar, maybe I could see somebody wanting to cosplay, or Jabari? What was his name again? I've forgotten his fucking name. But, like, nobody's gonna want to cosplay Lennox, right? Nobody's gonna want to cosplay Jabali. Like, maybe Jabali? Maybe Hamar? Nobody's gonna want to cosplay Devere. Nobody's gonna want to cosplay Lennox, right? Like, and that's how you know a character design is bad. Like, could you see somebody wanting to cosplay them? And that's just, you just can't for, like, most of these people. Even though most of them have a pretty easy cosplay, because they're just kind of like a guy, right? Oh, it's so frustrating. Like, so many of them just look like a first draft character. Like, you need to do more. You need to pick the concept and then just go for it, dude. They're so safe. The designs are so safe and generic, and, like, you can't do that. If your thing is going to be pulp sci-fi and you're going to be a hero shooter, you need to really sell it. And they did not sell it. Man. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you for looking at the Concord characters with me. We've been here for 2 hours of recording, but I'll trim it down a little bit. So thank you if you made it all the way through this video. Thank you very much for watching. We'll look at some good character designs next time. Okay, thanks. Bye.